It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. Credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 13, right?
I think it's 12.
Is it 12?
Yeah.
I don't.
You
screwed up with
consistently go one above where you're at, which I mean is great. I mean, I'll shoot for the stars, Gordon.
Yeah. 15.
Episode 45 tonight.
I'm 40.
Episode something. I'm sitting down. Mike, my coach, is back again. How's it going?
Going real well.
And Justin, who's brought the bar with him.
I've heard no complaints.
Actually, this is a dry household, so
I can tell. Dry only is in the company you bring back.
I would like to argue episode 5 against that.
Was I here for that?
I
don't think so.
No. Yeah, you were. That's when we did the infected beer tasting.
Oh, yeah. That
Prior
the
on
rat
Blind
smell.
Ninjas on Department of Defense.
yeah, that's when we all quit drinking.
That was a day. That was like the worst next day ever. Like, hey, let's drink 15 different types of bacteria that's not supposed to be found in beer at the same time.
It was a good day.
May as well have gone to a chili feed.
Would have been just as fun, I think.
Yeah.
Probably would have tasted better.
I don't know. I've been to some.
Better,
You're gonna,
I'm
what,
sure.
you gonna put lacto in your chili or what? Shut up, Casey. Fucking beer nerds.
Want to have you back on, Mike, since you are actually competing here. You're leaving in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
So when this episode goes live on the website, you'll be in California.
Mm-hmm.
Stones of Strength.
Yep. It's going to be second year doing it. I qualified this year just by getting invited, actually, because I won it last year. So defending my title.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So what's that all curtail?
So if anyone follows any kind of strength sports at all, it's like strongman and Highland Games mixed together. So with Highland Games, a lot of times they'll have throwing events, like it's almost like shot put, but it'll be stone put. That'll be one event. The Husafeld stone carry.
Gesundheit.
Gesundheit, yeah.
Bit of cream for that.
kind of a different name, but the original Husafeld stone is from Iceland, which is where a lot of strongman history comes from. So it'll be an event where you pick up an awkward field stone and carry it on your chest for as far as you can, and then it'll be an Atlas stone, so those big circular concrete balls. It'll be a series going from lightest to heaviest, and then another event of going max amount of reps over a bar. Then the last event would be a stone carry medley. So you go back and forth carrying increasing weight stones until you're done. So my back's going to hurt is really what that's trying to say.
Well, it should be fun, though, at least.
I'm
get
looking
out of
forward
the
to it.
frickin' monsoon that we've been stuck in for...
I know. You didn't hear we moved to Seattle.
I thought the coffee got more expensive.
And I hear you have this really neat sponsor who gave you some cool shirts to wear while you're out there.
Yeah,
too.
so the Arena Motivation is
God,
my
you're
sponsor
shameless.
helping me get there.
Absolutely.
And I'll toot Gordon's horn there saying that it's pretty great. He's helping me out, and I love the clothing.
Well, I'm glad. Do you actually like it?
Yeah,
Awesome.
Dude, that hoodie's the best.
No, on your show, he's going to say it sucks.
Right, yeah.
Just say, keep in mind, we're on video as well. So you can't be like, yeah, I love it. Like, it's not gonna
Scratching my head.
No, see, I'm really happy the way the T-shirts turned out. Less than thrilled with the men's tank tops, and the hoodies didn't hold out as well as I hoped they would.
You don't like it? I think it's comfy.
They're okay.
Okay.
I'm going back to the drawing board with those.
Good way to sell your merch.
I took it off so I moved kind of unexpectedly this spring, and I lost a bunch of merchandise. And not a clue where it went, so I just took everything down for the time being.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You never found that?
No, I did not. Yeah, there's 2 boxes, roughly about $400 worth of material. If anybody sees it out there,
What are they bootlegging
take
it up the hill?
well, you can bleach them and reprint, or you could take them to your local Goodwill and get the name out there. I'd appreciate that too. If anybody's out there who stole my shit a second time, it was last year. Yeah, somebody broke my window in my truck and took everything out.
Just for some hoodies?
Well,
I don't think they knew it was hoodies.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think they got back to where they were going. It was son of a bitch.
Oh man.
Marcus, clothing again?
And also want to have you on, Justin, because you just found out that you're doing this really cool little Bourbon Trail paid expense trip.
Yeah. That's. I suppose Casey hasn't heard about that yet either because I haven't seen him in months.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I miss you.
I miss you too.
You don't write. You don't call.
I've been writing every day.
Gordon, have you been hiding my mail again?
Not this time.
Oh. Usually it's when it's from the
Son of a
IRS.
bitch.
If it's from the IRS, he's like, "Oh, we don't need that."
Well, I have been writing in a very official stationery, so
You're the wax seal. Who knew Casey was a prince from Zimbabwe who was going to give me a bunch of money?
your loss.
Apparently,
You can really see it in the beard.
it's a dead giveaway. But no, I recently entered, as people may know, I am a bartender. Have been doing that for a long time. Love me some craft cocktails. That's kind of my little niche in it that I'm trying to work towards. Entered a competition through Woodford Reserve. It was not put out by any beverage rep, so it doesn't matter who distributes to whatever restaurant. If they carry Woodford, they were brought the opportunity.
Oh, nice.
So what they did is it's called a field day contest. So it was 8 or 9 states across the Midwest, like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, I think Pennsylvania, and then like Tennessee and the Carolinas too. But open entry, make an original cocktail, photograph it well. They actually judged you on the photography of it as well, which I felt like was kind of cheating for me.
Yeah.
The 2 things that I care about in life, it's like, oh yeah, let's do it. But they were then going to select 7 people out of those 8 states to do a full expenses paid trip down the Bourbon Trail to Old Forester and Woodford Reserve, barreling rooms, distillery tours, dinners, everything.
That's amazing.
And I found out today, this afternoon, probably about 12:30, that I was selected as one of those 7. So
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, oh, I'm not a complete failure. Like
I'm good at this
I
thing.
did that nervous pace around my house for like an hour, just like texting everyone. Like, okay, if one of you forged this, I knew it wasn't him. He's not tech savvy enough for that.
No.
He thought he bought a microphone. It wasn't.
It's God damn it.
Is it a sex toy?
It's definitely a Hitachi one.
It's a microphone.
It's not supposed to vibrate, Gordon.
Shit.
But that's kind of my new news, if you will, and just working on the photography stuff. But I did bring, as Gordon said, the bar with me. I brought everything with, including my home infusions, to actually make the cocktail for you guys today.
Ooh.
Can't wait.
I figure we come down to the den of the beer nerds and bring the cocktail beer.
All right.
The cocktail beer?
I mean, you could do a beer cocktail, I guess.
Oh, those are terrible plans, though.
Yeah, they are.
Usually.
Oh, I know
They
Mike
usually-
Fredrickson of Pitchfork Brewing really likes to mix his beers.
You
And
know,
is happy
don't-
to do so in the tap
Like,
room.
certain beers should be blended. Like, sours need to be blended.
Sour shouldn't be made.
Everything else needs to just...
Shut your mouth.
Yeah, you're kind of wrong.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go. Hey, Mike. Yeah, I hear that you like black and tans are a thing here. Gordon said it was fine.
Fucking Gordon.
Casey reassured me.
Trivia night's been canceled. Casey missing.
They found him drowning a pint of. I can't talk today. My blood alcohol is getting low.
Make it up.
Yeah, that's actually I brought that too. We should crack this open here pretty quick before it gets too warm.
What is that?
It is Great Lakes Imperial Oyster Stout. So they actually they shuck fresh oysters and then add cow nibs during the process, and it lends like a little briny saltiness to the end of it. I saw it and was like, yeah, no, I'm buying you. I don't care how much you cost. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I can't remember how long ago, but somebody brought, I don't know if you were there, Casey, somebody brought in the not barrel aged or not imperial version of that.
Yeah, I've had a few oyster stouts, but I don't think I've had that one.
Yeah, that's
I've
that's
never
that's
had any.
different.
I like oysters. I like stouts. I don't see a problem.
Yeah, no, it's a briny stout. Like it tastes exactly like you would think.
They called me in college. I gotta be careful what I say about ordering beer. That's what I was gonna say right before we started the intro. Is I sit down at the bar, Wild Boar in Oakdale. I'm sitting there and I look at the bartender. Hey, Justin, how's it going? Whatever. I'm like, yeah, what's going on? Anything dark and pretty on tap? And I look to my right, and there sits probably the most beautiful black woman I've ever seen in my life. Didn't know she was there, and she's just staring me dead in the face. Hey.
No, I'm
Yeah, no, my words don't fill me often, and when they do, it's comical. Gordon's witnessed it like twice,
It's wonderful.
but then he also is no better.
I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, Bulldog.
Mike, how's it going?
That's good.
I gotta get Mike to come out with us every now and then. This will be fun.
Try it for what?
Just out and about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just for
Hey,
fun.
hey, we're gonna go check out a new whiskey bar, or beer bar, or whatever.
I will
Well,
be
I
there.
don't know what's harder, to nail down you or to get Ben to come out of his cave every once in a while.
Ben, you got to know what to bribe him with. Like I haven't known Mike long enough to know what his weaknesses are. Ben, I just
Food.
Hi.
Say, I'm buying apps.
They got BOGO cheese curds. I didn't think he could run. No, because Ben, it's like if you mentioned a couple different types of scotch and he's like running, I figure it's something.
Well, that's
we'll
what I
figure
figure
out what it is.
picture too. That telly that we had was it 12,
14.
14.
I had never even seen the bottle before. I thought it was their new Caribbean cask, which is not great in my opinion. But yeah, no, Tullamore 14 finished in 4 different casks, sherry port and 2 other ones I'm blanking on. Delicious.
Started in O.
And for $14 for a double pour, I wasn't mad about it.
right. That's not bad at all.
So that's what we did before we came here. And now I've got this lovely bottle of whiskey sponsored by Woodford Reserve.
Actually, if Woodford Reserve would like to sponsor us, we will drink your whiskey every show.
Yeah, I'll see you in a month. If I don't come back, guys. It's because they offered me a job, and I just didn't call anybody.
Are they taking you right into Louisville?
I'm not 100% sure in a lot of the details. I have to do my registration, and the only thing that doesn't seem does seem strange to me about it is I actually have to get like 1099 on this, even though they're not giving me money. Like I'm not gaining income from it.
Right.
So it's a $900 value, roughly, is what they said the prize package is worth for 7 people, which is cool. But I literally have to like have my agreement and then have an affidavit notarized and scanned and sent to them before I can like finish my registration. So if anyone knows a notary that just wants to come to my house, but no, I don't know exactly what's going on. I don't know what their plans are. It's only 3 days, which is whatever.
Yeah.
But they were also smart. They went, hey, we're working with bartenders. We're going to make this a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that you can come back and then hate your life the entire weekend you have to bartend. What's wrong with you? He's still hungover. It's Sunday, we know.
I was going to say, if you're in Louisville, Highlands Cafe, it's strictly breakfast. I think they close at like noon or 1 o'clock. It's awesome.
How was that noise?
Yes.
Yeah, if you're insinuating that they're going to take me down the Bourbon Trail and I'm going to be up before noon any given day of that, you are wrong.
I was.
It's all bartenders, friend. We don't do daytime.
Valid. Never mind.
Although, I mean, if there's open after bar, breakfast joint that's open from 3 a.m. to noon, that's how you make money. That's
Prime hours.
That's what Mike told me anyway.
You can make a killing in a college town.
Yeah, if you get those stainless walls and floor and big pressure washers to clean up the vomit.
Ugh.
I don't miss those days.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah, somebody pooped in the garbage can. Really? Yeah, that's a real story.
Really? Which bar?
It was Boomers when that used to be open.
Uh-huh.
It was my first bartending gig after I was a bouncer for a couple of years, and yeah, everything that could come out of a body that you can imagine, we've cleaned up. Until the one day we're doing garbage in the night, and we're like, there's a turd in the garbage can, and it wasn't like there's no reason for it to have been there. The only best guess is that someone just couldn't wait for the bathroom, or like it was full, and just kind of like over the edge of the garbage can. And then I'm assuming went back out, and I really hope it was a girl, because I want her to have gone back out on the dance floor and then like bump and grind with somebody.
Ew, dude.
Aren't you two married now?
Huh?
No, I'm kidding.
No. I am though, so.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you
If she's listening, I'm sure you're a lovely lady. I don't know what he's been saying, but
Me?
not you.
What?
Never mind. Over your head. It's fine.
Whoosh.
Yes.
I'm like half paying attention and I got it. Like,
That's all right. So since I'm gonna do some mixing here, should we crack the beer first or do the cocktails first?
Beer before you
yeah, if
scroll.
you crack the beer, we have something to talk about while you're mixing the cocktails.
Dirty.
I know, right?
Ugh.
That's the only reason I did it. There's nothing better than whispering to a mic and knowing that you're basically in your friend's ears.
You're right.
Yes. Where's my keys?
There should be a button.
I got one right here.
Just pop it off with a ring.
With a ring.
I thought you said you're getting a silicone.
Huh?
I thought you got a silicone.
He wasn't talking about the ring.
I want one eventually.
This one? I mean, I just don't know what's what here.
I mean, yeah,
Same?
yeah, it doesn't matter.
Or should we use different glasses and use these
I can
for
go get
cocktails?
beer glasses if you guys want to talk for just a couple of seconds
Sure.
here.
There's no talking. All right, so Mike, you've got Stones of Strength, right, is what it's called?
Yep.
Coming up. And then you were saying you have another event coming up in December.
Yeah, so with the 105K or 105 kilogram division, there's a new event called the Official Strongman Games, which is kind of the new way to qualify for World's Strongest Man. It's like the new under the open class way to go to World's Strongest Man. So they have an online qualifier, which requires you to do 3 events of the promoter's choosing, and then you actually submit your events with whatever your score was or however heavy you went, and then you get to see where you rank against everyone else in the world that's submitted.
How is it? Do they verify it in any way? Is it
So-
like you submit a video, or is it just you punch it in and we hope to God you're being honest?
No, you actually have to verify everything that you did in the video, so these videos aren't just like, oh, he did this weight, and then we're all using like styrofoam plates or something like
Yeah.
that. So you got to weigh the plates in the video.
I was gonna say, so what if it's like a Minnesota's Strongest Man, where that's sanctions the wrong word. Like I know all the open classes winners went to nationals. From there, I mean, would that count? Do you still have to verify the weights, or can you say, here's the video from this official event?
You'd still have to have a way of verifying what you did in whatever contest that you had or had participated in to try and use, let's say, like a max deadlift at a contest. You'd still have to find a way to show a record of it online with that video.
Gotcha.
And it had to be in the timeline too, so you can't use stuff from 3 years ago. Yeah.
Well, that doesn't seem fair.
Yeah.
I feel like I should be 100% able to just submit my max deadlift that I did 5 years ago. I don't know. I think it's silly.
Well, what's the timeline that they give you then? A couple months?
So last year, since it was the first year they did it, it was a really long process. I think they gave everyone like 10 weeks to actually submit their videos. And this year, since everyone knew what it was and kind of knew what the gist of how to submit your videos were, how that went, it was about a month. So they announced that everyone knew that it was coming, and they announced qualifying events a little earlier. So it was only a month. That's all I had.
When do the results come out then?
For who qualified? I think they took a week to look at all the videos. So with 3 videos that they had to watch for every person, and I think they had almost 300 people. It turned to be, it's a pretty long process for some people that just do this in their part-time to set this whole contest up. So it was about a week after the deadline to submit that we figured out that, oh, I was in the top 10 or top 20 and I got invited.
And
So
where,
I'll-
do you know where did you place then?
Oh,
If you don't mind me asking.
Out of the people that submitted online for the 105 kilogram class, I think I was 6th or 7th out of maybe like 50 or 60 people. That
Not a bad day.
yeah, that's not bad. So that's December 5th through the 7th in Raleigh, North Carolina.
That'll be cool.
Yep. All right, we gonna taste this oyster beer or what?
Briny.
Salty.
Let me get my little earmuffs back on here so I can whisper things and know how it sounds to Mike.
All right, here we go. Oh, that is salty.
It is.
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
No.
Let's see. I've looked it up on the website, so we got a little bit of a thing here.
All right.
You didn't think we'd celebrate our 30th anniversary without a special release, did you? In honor of 3 decades of independent craft brewing, Great Lakes Brewing Company is proud to share the 30th anniversary Imperial Oyster Stout. To celebrate our Pearl anniversary, we added fresh shucked oysters and cacao nibs to this special Imperial Stout, symbolizing the hard work and sweat or sweet memories we've shared over 30 years of independent family-owned and now employee-owned craft brewing.
Employee-owned, huh?
Yep. So you are looking for luxuriously smooth with deep diving roasted malt and cocoa flavors and a delicately briny finish. It's 11% ABV, 37 IBUs. Yeah. Pairs with oysters, aged cheese, and chocolate cake.
I agree with all of that. That was very well written as well. No, I like it. I think the saltiness is a nice touch at the end.
That's good.
Although I feel like Mike's not digging it so much in the corner. I can't tell though.
No, that's all right.
It's not like super salty like a Goza. It has like it's more subtle. I mean, it's there if you're looking for it, but if you just handed this to me and didn't tell me it was an oyster stout, I think it would take me a minute to be like, there's something here, but I'm not entirely sure what it is.
No, that's true. And also, I'm really glad that you said Goza because now I know how to pronounce that. That's one I never learned about, and I'm got it on tap right now where I work, and I'm like, it's got agave and lime. It's delicious. It's fresh. Just drink it. And don't ask me what it's called.
It's salty and tart. Enjoy it.
It's like all my past relationships.
Yeah, like I was saying off air, I've had the non-imperial version of this before, and it was the first time I've had an oyster stout. This is a lot nicer.
Yeah.
The brine came through a lot more than I think it should have in the non-barrel aged or imperial version, where you're licking a salt lick.
Because we've all done that.
Yeah, you're from northern Wisconsin too.
Yeah, no, I didn't say I
Well,
hadn't.
that's
I was just, that wasn't sarcasm. I just assume that's what Mike does before he goes out to compete. Gotta get them electrolytes.
That's how I get psyched up. I just take a 5-pound block of salt.
Smelling salts are on their way out. Licking salt. That's what's coming up next.
Stick your tongue in a jar of nose torque and see how it goes.
Yeah. That's normally what I do. Turns out okay.
Stuff almost killed me at MN Strongest.
Oh, you tried it?
I didn't know what it was.
Did you inhale? Like take a strong inhale?
No, not so.
Who's
the big fella?
The giant at your wedding, other than everybody
Iowa.
else.
Oh, Jacob Daigle.
Yes,
Yeah.
Jacob. So
Yeah.
he had it and he threw it and I caught it. I was
Oh,
like,
boy.
And I was like, what is this? Because I kind of had a concept, but I thought it was packs, like the individual ones. I didn't realize it was just loose. And all I did was open it just to look. It was just like, poof.
Right
Like
in the face.
I almost went out. Like it hit me really bad. And he's looking at me like, are you okay? And I'm just twitching.
Yeah.
And then I went when no one was looking and just ran with the sled medley for a while. Just had to get it out of my system.
Yep.
Beat Gordon's yoke carry.
Not hard. It was pretty lightweight.
What was
compared
it?
to
500, 550?
No.
Yeah, it was.
No, it was not. It was
600?
No, I don't think it was even over 4.
For your weight class?
Yeah.
Well, for the amateur open.
No way. It had
Yeah.
to at least be 500.
No,
pounds.
because I was an amateur class. and
Yeah, at least 500.
No, it did not feel like 500.
It didn't. I don't remember what it looked
All right,
like.
I'm
but-
looking it up.
I remember because you made me carry 500 and told me it was like 300.
Yeah, I've heard about these tricks. This is making me apprehensive for the future with us here, Mike.
Yeah,
Hey, pick this up. It's only this much. I can do fucking math, Mike. I'm not Gordon. You start throwing kilos at me though, I'm in trouble because
Yeah,
that's the
right.
math I'm not good at because we live in America.
230
Well, like
kilos.
1 kilo is like 65 pounds or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's accurate. That's
That is
that's why
spot
Mike's in
on.
the 105K.
Yeah.
It's all those T-skirts. Yeah, that is. I remember that. Like, yeah, no, here, just do these. Oh, I did the math wrong.
Yeah, it was.
Was it the
Farmer's
farmers? Yeah,
Cares
that's
the
what it
first
was.
time he got me. It was,
Yep.
yeah, we're going to do 205. And I'm like, and I felt like garbage because I'm like, really, I'm struggling this much with 205? No way in hell I'm going to do 25. Get to the end after doing, I think we did 100 feet with those.
With when I told you it was heavier.
Yeah, and it was actually
Which one was lighter?
250 pounds a hand?
Yeah, slight increase.
Yeah, to
100
mildly.
pounds. Yeah,
After I finished and wanted to fall over.
yeah. If you're not worried about it, you just do it. It's not as hard.
Also true.
But yeah, same thing with the yoke.
Yeah,
Load a couple extra 45s on there when I wasn't looking.
Oh, he had to do it for you? I do it to myself all the time. I'll get in the zone and slap a 45 on a deadlift instead of a 25 or something like that. And I'm like, oh, cool. I was supposed to go down and, oh, cool. I just did my old max for like 5 reps. Great. That's not a bad problem to have.
not thinking about it. That's all it is.
It's just scaring the high school kids at Experience Fitness.
Yeah, they have a yoke at experience. Oh,
No,
deadlift
deadlift.
thing. Okay.
No, no. That thing will be broken in like a day. Nope, there's nothing better than the Olympic stations and watching a bunch of high school basketball players do plyometrics with PVC pipe in it. Not a joke. Waiting to like deadlift and squat and all that good stuff, and they're in there with like,
Just standing on the
they're-
power.
yeah, they're just standing there, or the guy that foam rolled his legs out for 35 minutes in it.
What?
Yeah, no,
Kick
I
him
yelled.
out.
I yelled at him.
They have a stretching area.
Yeah, it's called the parking lot. Go
You guys
home.
see that article about the Browns coach, Browns offensive lineman, I want to say,
Mm-hmm.
yelling at the guys as they're stretching. Do you think our boys on D-Day stretched before they ran out on that beach?
What?
Yes, they also shit themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
There's been a lot of good little, like, I like sports. I don't get into it. I don't have it like a fantasy or anything like that, but I like watching different stuff. I don't care what anyone has to say about the McGregor Khabib fight. That's a whole different conversation. But can we talk about the guy who said his balls were hot in the post interview? He gets done. Joe Rogan's like, yeah, let's interview. I can't think of the guy's name. And
He's fighting a Russian guy.
No,
He
this
said-
is a different fight. This is a heavyweight fight.
Yeah.
This is the one of the earlier ones or the later ones. I forget. But
might
he
be
gets
before
out there,
Theodore
takes
here.
off his like sponsor shorts, and he's in there and just like his compression in his cup. And he's like, "Hey man, why'd you take your pants off? My balls was hot." And he just goes, "Yeah, I know how that goes." And like right back into the interview.
If they don't get sued for this, but
Derek, why'd you take your pants off? My balls was hot.
Like the candidness of it is just the best part of the whole thing.
My balls was hot.
dude, yeah, he was dead to rights in his fight, and he came back out of nowhere and caught his second win and ended up winning. And I was watching highlights. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch fights this weekend, but
It's okay. I don't get to watch anything good on the weekends because unfortunately the way they set up anything for service bars, restaurants, whatever, is no longer by how many TVs you have. Like say if you want an NFL package or a Sunday ticket or whatever it is, so you didn't get blackout games. You at home will pay, I forget how much.
I think it's UFC fights for
UFC fights are individual
yeah.
versus like a package deal.
Yeah.
Either way,
Unless you're Buffalo something wings, you get they have the big contract, and so they have a huge.
well, they
discount.
base it on your capacity.
Yeah.
Because
That's
instead of
why-
being like where I work at, it's a 600 seat full capacity, I think roughly. I mean, 60 seat bar, big place, and they don't base it on we have 15 TVs, so this is how many places you can be showing it. They base it on all right, this is your profit margin for each individual person on the average, bigger income, so bump it up by this percent, and they charge you based on your potential income made or potential like net sales. And that's how they determine how much to charge you for it. So that's why no place anymore is showing the fights. They don't have any NFL packages, stuff like that, because they're getting just screwed.
Yeah, you can't make your money back on something like
No,
that.
when I worked here in River Falls, it was like, oh, you guys going to show the stuff? Because unfortunately, for being a Packer bar, you're close enough to the Minnesota border, you're getting blacked out. It's like, no, we have a 15 seat bar. We hold about 200 people, and it's going to cost us like, I think it was like $9 grand or something like that for the season for like
Jesus
unlimited
Christ.
games.
Yeah.
And it's like we're not even going to break even.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way.
No way.
Not with all the other overhead on it.
No. Yeah, and people are talking about doing movie night up at Pitchfork, and that was the thing, is that you have to pay per seat for licensing. And there's 45 seats in that bar, and it's not going to fill up on a
No.
Sunday afternoon.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you want to go about it. I mean, if you want to sneak your
If you just want to,
DVR or whatever in the back, or plug in your what is it, your Fire Stick, whatever the hell they are nowadays.
Yeah.
Any number of options for streaming and do it that way, that would work.
Well, and I found out, like, the NFL app, when they first came out with that, they were doing live streaming only if you had Verizon as your carrier. They've opened it up now to everybody, and I can actually catch a few games streaming at home, which is nice because, oh, look, I don't have access to the cable, so I'll just watch it on my phone, or if I'm stuck at work. But you cannot do the mirror screen.
Disclaimer:
to TV.
Gordon doesn't watch football games at work.
Of course not. Certainly not on Sunday when I was supposed to have a day off and covered for my employee who broke his face.
it really feels like you watch some football at work there, Gordon.
To be fair,
I don't know. Casey, I don't know.
we
if
had
that's
the
accurate.
Vikings game on the radio, and I put my Packers on my phone.
The speakers. It's still on the radio. You just don't get to hear it.
Yeah. No, but I tried to mirror screen on my TV, and it actually blocks you. And even on the Xbox Live and PlayStation Network stuff, you can get a code, and then if you have a certain TV provider, you can enter the code, and then it allows you to do it, but you just can't have it for whatever
That's interesting.
reason. So who knows?
Well, all the new streaming services, I know, like I have Amazon Prime, and while they don't offer
They do
a lot of that, they do Thursday night football now.
Yeah.
You can watch any Thursday night game.
This year it's a lot easier to find. It actually pops up right on the dashboard. Last year we tried to do that for a couple Packer games, and it was an absolute nightmare to find, and it didn't work.
A lot
all
of
the
it
time.
is because the NFL viewership is dropping so rapidly that they're like, oh, no, we need to keep making money somehow. Like,
Well, yeah, it's turning into a giant political mess.
yeah.
Yep.
As is, I mean, everything. Don't get me wrong, the whole world's a giant political mess right
Yeah.
now. But that's it's one
No,
of
but
those
even
things.
before then, viewership was down because
It's-
nobody watches live TV anymore.
And it stopped being
That's
about the game and the players. It became more about what commercial can we shove at you.
Mm-hmm.
Even now, oh, look, here's a 30-second timeout. We're going to have the game over in this corner, and over here we're going to have an insurance commercial. It's like, come on.
That's
really?
important.
I barely ever watch any games anymore. I can't handle all the ads.
I watch.
It's true. Mike is very susceptible, and he just buys a lot of shit.
That's actually why we called you here, Mike. We're going to have an intervention about your ads.
We're here because we love you.
That was an extravagant plan.
You're here of your own volition because none of us had called you back.
Not actually recording right now.
I'm out of here.
Okay, I mean,
All right, guys, come on out from the back.
We have snacks.
So you get Mike into a van.
Okay.
Free cheese curds.
That'd work on us too, though.
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, would.
Yeah, you know.
I've
They
never-
wouldn't even have to be free. They just cheat. Like,
Yeah.
That's like the most elaborately spray painted van, reasonably priced cheese curds. How many ounces? Too much info on those.
Well, I found Wisconsin cheese curds when I was out in New Orleans. I want to say 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
were they Ellsworth?
That I didn't ask that
Then
far.
fuck 'em.
Like I was just walking up.
Never has there been a truer statement. No, that's true. Like the Ellsworth ones are making their way everywhere now.
Oh, yeah, it's.
I want to know if they're still squeaky by the time they land.
Oh God, no!
West
They
Coast.
have to go. They have to go into the microwave for a few seconds, and then they get their squeak back.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel cheated.
What?
It's just the way the announcers
Sir,
get their
cheese
squeak
curds.
back. Did I don't maybe I mean obviously you two haven't heard. Maybe I shared with you the story. My old roommate in college, just him and I, two guys living in a house. He worked at the creamery, and I opened my fridge one day to a big like 2x2 cardboard box. He's moved all the shelves. There's just a 2x2 cardboard box in our fridge, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And I open it, It is a 2x2, 35-pound box of cheese curds.
Oh,
Santa came early.
Yeah, it sounds like Mike did just now too.
Oh,
Turns out they were like a white cheddar or something like that. They'd aged them just a little too long, so they didn't have like the right flavor. And with being what they are, yeah, you want it to be right.
Yep.
So they were gonna throw them, and like, unless anybody wants them, he's like, I'll take them. Dear God, I
They didn't
had
poop for a month.
I had 4 heart attacks that month.
could you poop?
I am from northern Wisconsin. That has never been a concern with cheese. We are genetically superior.
well, that happened. Pitchwork was part of the.
Really? Who, you hand me this? There was nothing in it.
It's in your hand, not my fault.
Some people's kids.
At least now when I hit you with it, I won't spill anything.
Pitchwork was in that. Was Casey? Was it Baldwin that did a cheese curd fest? this
No,
year?
that was the River Falls Cheese Curd Fest.
Was it
Or not River Falls, Ellsworth.
Yeah,
Ellsworth Cheese
Ellsworth
was
has been
Ellsworth.
doing it for a while.
Yeah, but they moved it from the fairgrounds into Summit Park, I think it's called. It's the weird, like, stupid median park, like if you're going into East End.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Like there's a park that it's literally they took there's like, I don't know, maybe an acre of grass between 2 roads, and they're like, this is a park now, and they stuck a swing set there.
Yeah, but River Falls does it all the time too. What is it? Veterans Park in the corner by the parking lot by like the post office, or
Yeah.
not the post office, the police station.
You know, it's a statue and a bench and a tree. Like,
Yeah.
park.
I lived in this town for 10 years before I moved, and I've never once saw anyone sitting on that bench.
Nobody sits on that bench.
No, not even.
Unless you're really drunk and like
no,
that's like
even,
the halfway point.
Even then.
Yeah, then you'll sit on the curb.
I worked at Shooter's Pub for years, and never once during last call saw anybody drunkenly sitting on that bench.
Jesus Christ, that poor bench. Gets no love.
Well, I just because the weather this year for the Cheese Curd Fest was absolute garbage, and Mike came back to the brewery with probably 2 or 3 of those same size boxes of cheese curds. Like, here, hand these out; they're free. I'm like,
No, they're
I
mine.
mean, do I have to? I'll bring them home.
There were a lot of brewery cheese curds, and it was pretty great.
It was.
It's they're kind of limitless in their options. I mean, anything you can use normal cheese for, just use cheese curds. Oh, you're making
Or
an omelet? Throw some cheese curds in it.
Better yet, you just put a cup of cheese on the counter.
Also that.
That's what they did,
Yeah.
and it was perfect.
Yeah. Oh,
Cheese
full-
curds instead of popcorn for like a month.
Stop, you're making my heart happy. that or a clot's about to dislodge. I don't know which way we're going. Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Pumped
Justin.
to see this drink that you got.
Yeah.
All right.
Want to start
Well,
mixing?
Yeah, I guess. How big a pours do we want to do? Because I mean, usually it's figure 2, 3.5. It's almost a 4-ounce drink, roughly, because it'd be normally be a single serving size. So, I mean, we can do that. I just need to change my portions. I just need to know how much we want to do.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Okay.
You're the expert.
I'm working, so the more the merrier.
Huzzah.
And a special thank you to Casey for. So normally, the show is recorded on a Sunday, release on Thursday. Last Thursday, I
It's going
text
up on a
Casey
Tuesday.
like, yeah, well, it is Tuesday now, and I text Casey last Thursday like, hey, want to record in 5 days? Last minute, and he was cool with it. So thank you.
Yeah,
And
no problem.
Well, this
Thanks,
has
brah.
been a little more of an easygoing one too. It's,
Yeah.
it's a little more just kind of BS like.
Well, also, I'm not coming off of 3 shows in a row, so that's kind of nice too.
Well, yeah, we brought you beer and treats of great joy. I mean,
Right.
it's just it is what it is.
And thank you again, Justin, for coming out on one of your few nights off.
Yeah, no, it's we're trying to set stuff up for the future. It sounds like too, where I can get a little more in depth on some of my other stuff, but we'll save that for that day.
Yeah.
Because I have a couple potentially other photographers who might tag along as well.
No, that'd be awesome.
Everything from hobbyist to newbie to pros to
Can I preview? Is that okay?
what's that?
Can I preview that show?
Sure.
Well, so yeah, I want to have you on because you have your bachelor's in photography and art.
Yep, my bachelor
Where
fine. Yeah.
it's not some schmuck like me with a fancy cell phone that he pays way too much for. And he goes,
No,
look,
it's just
I'm a
it's just
photographer."
a schmuck with a fancy camera that he pays too much for. No, it's
No, the wizardry and witchcraft that I've seen you do on your laptop, and I mean, just the crap you send me, like, oh, I made this on my cell phone. It's like, holy shit.
well, that's a little more design work than it is photography. I mean, like my background, without obviously getting into the show too much, that we will save a good amount of time for to get a bunch of people. That'll be super fun. Is like me having my degree didn't teach me about how the world works, and it taught me about how to make what I want to make. It wasn't like, hey, you got your degree in photography. It's a fine arts degree. It's not I don't have any business classes under my belt, nothing. So it's not like I came out of it and was like, I know how to build a business in this. It's like, I know how to make fine art that's going to go into galleries, and I know how to make my stuff work for me. Now I'm teaching myself all the rest of it. But no, it's a lot of fun, and by no means, if anyone is listening, think that you need a degree to do that. I have friends who tour the world with musicians. I have people who are displayed in galleries or are making 6 figures plus a year doing it, and they are self-taught. YouTube and Google, and take a class if you can, but you don't have to have a degree in anything to be successful at it.
Not anymore.
No. It's
There's so much information available.
Yeah.
And like that's one of the things I've liked is a lot of the Ivy League schools are doing the free classes that you can just download and kind of go at your own pace and read professors' notes and oh look, I have a day off and everybody's working and I'm gonna sit here and read about astrophysics and make my brain bleed.
yeah, that's a thing. Well, speaking of making brain bleeds, I'm gonna grab some ice. I'll be right back.
And Mike, thanks again for coming down. 3rd time on the show.
Yeah.
On a Tuesday. I know you're leaving early Thursday.
I'm excited, and I like being here anyway. It's fun talking to you guys.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see what happens. And you said this year is being aired?
Yeah, it should be televised, and that's all I was told. I wasn't told if it's going to be on just local channels or what it's going to be used for or broadcast over in Europe, because Strongman is huge in Europe. But the main thing that I'm worried about is, since I had the injury in March of this year, I tore 40% of my bicep tendon off. This will be my first contest back, so I'm just hoping I don't tear it off.
That seems like a lot of tendon to tear off.
Yeah, yep. And they wouldn't operate on me though. That's the thing. I had a ultrasound. That was their choice instead of using a CAT scan or anything. It's a cheaper way, and it was kind of cool. I could see right on the screen. It was just the tendon where it inserts onto your bone down there. It just looked like a rope just shredded.
Oh, wow.
Like if someone took a knife to a tight rope and cut 40% of it, it looked like my tendon just did that.
Well, you showed me the video. Do you mind explaining what happened?
I was doing an axle clean and press. So in Strongman, it's a thick 2-inch axle, like on a car.
Honestly, it feels like if you hold the beer can sideways, in my opinion.
Yeah,
If
it's
that's
like
accurate.
pop can or regular aluminum can size. I was holding it with one hand facing forward, the other one facing towards me. And in trying to get up to my chest, I used a little bit too much of my arm, and I felt it almost felt like cardboard ripping and then bubble wrap like in my arm. So I dropped it, and that was the first event.
Ooh.
And I still finished the contest and took 6th out of 30 guys. So
Jesus.
it hurt, but hopefully it's healed up now to go full throttle.
Yeah, I remember talking with you at Strongest about how the rehab was going, but I didn't ever really get that much detail on how it went.
Yeah. It was,
Which is good, because, damn.
yeah,
You combine that with a face full of nose torque, I'm having a bad day.
yeah.
All right, where's that thing?
How many people are competing this year? Do you know? Have they told you?
At the Stones of Strength in
Yep.
Cali.
4.
No, last year I think
That was my guess.
it's
Took third.
They try to only bring the guys that really want to try and win. So last year I think they had about 15 for the whole show. And the thing is, it's not a weight class. Like we were talking about 105 kilogram world's strongest man. This is like the strongest guys in America that do Stones of Strength. So last year there was a guy that was 380 pounds and I weighed 235. So it's not like they really try and keep the quality guys there. So I'm thinking they'll probably have 12 to 15 again.
Sure.
Oh,
It's the bat signal.
Robin.
That reminds me of a joke. What did one orphan say to the other?
What?
Robin, get in the Batmobile.
Oh, it's funny because they don't have parents.
Was it the Batman Spider-Man meme? Batman calls Spider-Man. Hey, what's Uncle Ben up to right now? I don't know. Probably at the theater with your parents.
Well, actually, Batman can't call Spider-Man because they're in different universes, and that would never happen.
False. There has been crossovers.
Actually,
Choose your next words.
don't hurt me.
Hey, Justin, you gonna tell us how you make this, or is this gonna stay
I'm
a
just
secret?
I'm just getting everything prepped.
Actually, we're gonna narrate while he does this.
I if you'd like, I'll walk you guys through what the ingredients are, and then I guess you guys can do with it what you will. 'Cause that sounds hilarious. Wait, who does the best David Attenborough impression?
Well,
The monkey now comes down from the tree. Like,
I'm trying.
that or give me a good Garrison Keeler. Like, just feel the sexlessness. Do it.
Suck it, Garrison.
that or just a solid Mark Wee. Mark Wee.
The wild Justin
Oh God,
grabs his lemon in his hand. It's not a real lemon.
that doesn't sound good.
Nope.
It's almost
He grabs his lemon in his hand.
well,
Squeeze.
SNL. Who the hell was it on the Schvetty balls?
Thank you for bringing that back into popularity again.
Who's the actor?
Schvetty balls. Is that not Adam Sandler? Is it? No.
No.
God, it's bothering me now. Yeah, somebody Google Schvetty balls.
I can
do
think
it.
of his face.
$50 balls.
On not the Community. What's the others?
Chevy Chase.
Baldwin. Alec Baldwin.
Yes, that is correct.
But Mike, I was going to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
So people that want to follow you during the Stone Strength, or see the video of you tearing your bicep or anything like that, your training videos.
Shut up, man. Don't even
Why
say
would
that.
you do that?
God.
You're a horrible friend.
There's going to
I'm
be people
super
out
excited
there
for the
wondering.
next training session between these two.
Whose bicep is torn now?
I am never picking up that sandbag again.
I will be posting everything
that
that I
code?
can get
I think so.
regarding the trip on Instagram. So my name, Michael_Congdon on Instagram. And Michael _. So
Yes.
follow my page. I'll try and make some stories and get somebody else to videotape some of the events. And yeah, that's where everything's gonna be.
Hey, Gordon, do you want to sponsor a photographer to go with him?
If I didn't have an ER trip to pay for, yeah.
Be a better sponsor.
We didn't have working unlimited funds.
ER trip.
Any of these guys at Blind Ninja Studios just bleed me for every dollar I make.
How? 'Cause I ain't seen a fucking dime.
I gave them to Carlos. He said he got them to you.
That bastard.
How many dimes?
How many did you give him? Like two?
3, 4.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Ooh, piece of cake.
All right. So,
No, that's next year.
Tattersall.
Tattersall.
If there's any sponsors out there
Strawberry
that'd
or
like to.
raspberry?
That is sour cherry.
Oh.
So,
I want to taste that.
yeah, no, you want to try it by itself?
Sure.
Let's, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to do this where it's not going to just taste like garbage. I mean, it won't bother you too much.
What
but-
do you need?
Oh, nothing. We're just going to have him try a little bit of that on its own.
Oh, okay.
Which you guys are welcome to do if you want to try the ingredients separately. I mean, lemon juice we've all had. But so that is Tattersall Distilling. They're in Minneapolis.
Okay.
One of my favorite distilleries, and I don't say that just because I have their product on air with me. I actually have been really enjoying their stuff since they came out.
Oh, it's awesome.
And they came out with kind of a boom. They're one of the few companies, because when you think about any kind of distilling, I mean, if you're making any spirits worth their while, usually there's an aging process.
Mm-hmm.
They have been living on pretty much their gin and their liqueurs and like their cremas, waiting for their whiskey to drop, and I believe it dropped this year because of the aging process. Like, don't overrun it. So this is, I think, 70 proof.
Well, that tastes like the secret
60.
ingredient
60.
to a Manhattan.
60 proof.
If you'd like to hear more about an early distillery starting, listen to our Bent Brew Distillery episodes on the Department of Defense.
You guys got stuff with Bent.
Yeah, we've done 3 episodes with them.
I didn't
with
know
Bartley.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, rock and roll. No, I love their products as
Oh, that's
well. I
delicious.
looked at their stuff, but
That is good.
so with this, like if anyone has had like Cherry Hearing or Luxardo Cherry, the maraschino liqueur, or even like the Marsaka from Luxardo, which is more those two markets competing, this is very different. It's a higher proof.
Yeah.
It still drinks super smooth, and that tartness really balances it out. So it's not. In industry term, you talk about a drink being fat or a drink being thin. It's just
Tastes
talking
like the
about
good
it needs
cough
sugar or less sugar or whatever it may be. This is a little thinner, so it doesn't have that cough syrupy run like you would have with like Cherry Hearing, where it's really thick and syrupy.
Higher
still like-
viscosity.
And it's the proof of it, yeah, and the proof of it helps with that as well.
It has a really nice balance, like you're
That's
saying, between that
delicious.
sweet and sour tart.
I will flat out drink this by itself.
Yeah. Yep.
Like I did that the other night, and it wasn't because I had nothing else. No, it actually wasn't. No, I wanted something that wasn't gonna, overproof whiskey kick my ass. I mean, I've got rums at home right now that are 132 proof.
Yeah,
Barf. Oh my god.
It's sessionable.
you got to cut that.
Well, that's what I do. I take it's plantation rums. I take their OFTD, which is their overproof rum, 69% alcohol, and I do half that, and then half with their pineapple rum.
Oh,
and then I
okay.
build daiquiris out of it. You just make
Nice.
it with I make a homemade lime cordial.
You should
So-
just make custom drinks. That should be like part of the show. Every
Well,
time.
well, I've joked.
That's what he does, isn't it? Like,
No, I mean here every time.
oh, I
So,
agree.
I thought it would be funny, and
Next
I told you about
podcast
this.
idea: cocktail hour.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, we're going to start that now. We have a slot open.
I thought it'd be super funny to. Well, I know a lot of bartenders. I thought it'd be super funny to bring batched cocktails, like bottle them like you would beer, purge the bottles, all that good stuff, wax tip the tops, but show up with like a couple 375 bottles of like my originals and bring it to like Homebrew Bound and just watch the beer nerds go.
That would be a lot of fun, actually.
Just like, well, I mean, granted, 11.5%. That's not a weak beer by any
No.
means. But when you start throwing down,
Yeah.
overproof stuff, it's like, oh, this goes down smooth.
So I got this really cool apple pie that Casey really likes.
Why is that not here?
Because fuck his apple pie. That's why.
It's not quite done
You
yet.
schmuck. Have you had it?
Yeah.
I've known the guy for how many years, and I've been asking for it, and you still haven't got me any.
I drank
I did.
too much of it.
I gave you a bottle
And-
last year, didn't I?
No, you've never given me a bottle.
Really?
I didn't get a
That
bottle
is-
either.
Well, I just met you in January, and it was not any. You did not want to drink it in January. I put everything together last October-ish. I bottled back. I don't know when. Sometime in
You should
spring.
do what the Puerto Ricans do and just bury it in the backyard and then dig it up when you're time for it.
Sorry, honey. my girlfriend's Puerto Rican.
It's what they do
It's
with
true.
their with their
Pituto.
yeah.
Yep, it's Puerto Rican moonshine. I have 2 bottles of it at home right
It's
now.
very good.
Well, so it's basically a plantain in like molasses or sugarcane, depending on what they get.
Yeah.
Rum essentially.
Yep.
But when they make it themselves, it's shine, and it doesn't taste like shine. It smells like funky fruity banana.
Oh, it's so good.
And then when you drink it, you're like, that's gasoline, but holy shit.
yeah.
Claudia, my girlfriend, her cousin came up, visited us, stayed with us for a couple days, and brought us stuff from like the gift shop in like San Juan's airport, which I had to be low proof. Like, don't get me wrong, I've had alcohol that can hide its proof, but there's no way this stuff was strong because I went, do what you will. She poured me probably about 4 ounces of it, and I killed it, and they're like, it's not high proof.
You know the stuff that you get out of like the dude's like
The duty-free
trunk,
shop and all
like-
that, yeah. But then you go, if you're thinking about like we did in northern Wisconsin, all the sketchy places and places I should have died just to get a bottle of whiskey.
I also saw the picture of you and her family, and you're a giant among that entire.
Oh
island.
God, I mean, like every culture's got people of different sizes. Every nation, every country, everything. Puerto Ricans are not tall people. They are not. I met her grandfather, uncle, cousin, and aunt. The tallest is her uncle, and he's 5'10". I'm 6'3". Their house is built for people who at max are like 5'10". I walked in, and it's like being down here. I'm 3 inches off of a ceiling fan. And it's just un que brutal. Oh. Which, for those of you at home, that means what a brute. It's better than the first time they saw me with tattoos and que diablo. I made friends. No, their family's wonderful people, and they cook like monsters, and it's awesome. They cook like I eat.
Right, and I often forget that, like I was saying to Justin, we were at a wedding in Stillwater last weekend.
Yes. Yeah, Saturday.
And the bar has a big giant mirror behind it, and we are a head taller than everybody else in the room except for one person. I'm like, God, I forget these things.
Oh,
And
that
then
was
you
the bar
see-
spoon guy.
Yeah.
The groomsman that walks up, and this is my buddy Jake's wedding, and if Jake, you somehow get this, much love. He's the kind of the guy that got me into the cocktail scene. We worked together at O'Malley's Pub in Woodbury, and I used to make fun of him for reading his books about wine and all that stuff. And then about a year later, after he moved to a good cocktail bar, the bug bit me, and here we are. But it was his wedding, so this entire wedding party is all cocktail bartenders and like Twin Cities people, and they offered to sponsor the first round of drinks. And the bartenders were like, "This will be fine." I'm like, "No, get ready. We're thirsty. We aren't joking around. This isn't like we all work at Applebee's." Like, no, we are drinkers. This is how it works. But no, it was a funny night because the guy rolls up to us. "Hi, I'm Brian. Hi, you smell like booze." It's 4:00.
Why do you start so late?
And he's like, "I'm gonna slow down," because I think it was Brian was his name.
I have
But
no idea.
I don't know. But he's like, "I'm gonna slow down because we got a lot of stuff to do and some more photos, and I don't want to be like up there trash like the service."
And he was
And
sweating.
I we get there and I'm like, "Yeah, you don't want to look like a bar spoon just going around in circles up there. Figure make drinks for the crowd. Know your audience." And we look up. Gordon elbows me. We look up to the front, and the guy is just. Keep in mind, he is the tallest person in the wedding party by like 5 inches. It's very noticeable. So he's just tiptoeing, and it's oh no, oh Pookie, no, he wasn't ready.
But on the flip side, Mike, at your wedding back in June,
My invite
was
must have
it?
got lost in the mail.
June
It's fine.
9th.
June 9th.
Yep.
It's not often I feel like the small guy in a room, and I don't really like it. But I was the smallest guy out of that photo that we got all the
Of everyone at
lifters.
the gym?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this sucks.
The thing is, you gotta try and place yourself in front of them for the angle.
It's like taking a good fishing photo.
Well, we took
Yeah,
one
yep.
photo, and then somebody's like, no, we need to go in front of the door frame for reference. And you look at everybody else, and the door frame looks like a fucking
You
hobbit
can't
hole.
see it. Like
Yeah. Yep.
That's funny. Did we want to try the whiskey on the way around as well, the same way?
Yep.
I will never turn that down.
Yep.
So this is Woodford's. It's their Distiller Select. It's their Kentucky Straight Malt. So I may be incorrect on some of the info on this, so forgive me if I am. The way it's been explained to me without, putting in maximal effort, and Casey's going to fact check me here, I'm sure, which is good because I need it, is basically it's an American single malt, essentially, is what it's making. So it's with your Scotches and your Irish, you'll have that single malt. This is just the American version of doing it. It lends, in comparison to their bourbon and their rye, which are great products as well. Which is funny because on their little application for me, they made me write why I'm passionate about Woodford, and
Oh my god.
I can't think of a time I've not been, because it's no frills, it's good product. There's always consistency. I reach for these bottles a lot because I know they're going to work for me. And it's got big character. The malt on it, it's just awesome.
That's unreal. Man.
So the straight malt is 51% malt instead of the 51% corn.
Oh, nifty.
So it doesn't make it a bourbon; it makes it a straight malt whiskey. Yep.
Yep, and it lends a bigger, more complex flavor. You end up not losing, but subduing the caramel and vanilla and like a little bit of like dried fruit tones you get from their bourbon. Their bourbon's more caramely than fruity anyway. I really enjoy this. I chose it for my cocktail anyway, just because I wanted those really distinct notes to shine through. Because I knew if it was something that was more subdued and more sweet, it was going to get overshone by any of the Tattersall or My Little House Infusion stuff.
Yeah, a lot of caramel.
That's so good.
See, I taste a lot of caramel, and I like it, but I smell vanilla. Maybe my nose is broken.
Not as of lately, but keep running your mouth.
Yeah. No, I do. Granted, I broke it twice in the
Well,
same
and
pool.
also that glass isn't clean as well.
I feel like
so
Mike
keep
is
that in
just
mind.
slowly,
Yeah.
as he gets to know us more, just kind of figure out the dynamic of the
Yeah.
friendship. Like all we do is drink, eat, and threaten each other. That's it. Every now and then we pick up heavy things.
Yeah.
It's usually plates.
Damn you, Kingdom Buffet.
I got kicked out.
I've been booted with 2 other rugby players out of not Blue Moon. That's a beer. China Moon.
China Moon.
Yep, right here in River Falls. You got-
Congratulations.
Yeah, no.
I didn't even know that could happen.
yeah. I tapped pretty quick, but my buddy kept going, and he's not a large guy. Gordon, you know, Mark Eineken.
Casey, sorry, I got a request. Can you pull up the Twitch comments? Apparently, there's something in there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, also, could,
Someone's watching?
Yeah. Holy, I got a viewer. Oh my god.
Woo!
Kingdom Buffet though, are they closed down or are they still up there?
I thought they were still in business.
Okay, I haven't been there. They,
oh, Ben, you said it's Ben message you.
yeah.
Okay. I can only see new comments starting now.
Pay attention to your Twitch comments. Shut up, Ben.
Hey, Gordon said he had it ready. He had a laptop
maybe-
over there and everything.
I can't get to it. Oh, I'm just gonna leave my Facebook message over with Ben here and just talk to him
Jesus Christ,
and
man.
yell at him. He can't come out because he's got an early morning, but he can spend the time watching us.
Yeah, of course.
Well, yeah. There's no drive time in there.
He lives on Johnson Street.
Like I said, that's a really far way away. And it was raining. I don't know. I got nothing.
Ben is a
I'm
star
trying to help Ben.
because the Twins suck and he's not here right now.
Well, I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Go Cubs.
I'm gonna give this over here to Casey just to check out. Give it a good shake here so it doesn't look like there's mold in it, because there's not. I promise. So this is Aperol, Italian liqueur aperitif, fruity but not sweet. I infused it with fresh rosemary. I love the sound effects are great. Yeah, no, it's delightful. This 2 days in there, because I mean rosemary's kind of fibrous and not easy to break down without heat, and I didn't want that to happen.
It's a really good, like, very big on the rosemary. Holy cow.
It gets really nice nose, but the body isn't super heavy with it.
Now I want steak.
This drink would actually go really well with steak. I'm actually pretty pumped for you guys to try the final product. The only thing that I've done differently that I brought for you guys today is I did not bring the bitters I normally use because I'm out of them. Where I get them was out of them. I had to
You get
resort.
special bitters.
Well, it's just my backup, different ones. So I usually use Bitter Cube, which is another Minneapolis company. They have been crushing the bitters game. Like that's almost every bar I've worked in the last couple of years has been using their stuff outside of like Angostura or Peychaud's, which are you're not going to touch those ever. They do the orange. Their grapefruit number 2 is like or not grapefruit. Jamaican number 2 is grapefruit and hibiscus, which is one of my favorites. Bolivar, which is chamomile and cassis, all the good stuff.
Yeah, you got to make it onto DOO for at least a cocktail episode. Maybe a series. Homebrew bound for some, like, we'll figure this
Yeah,
out.
no, it'll be fun. And it might. I mean, we can figure something out with it. And Mike's, I think you already tried that once. But what I brought instead today is Hella Bitters. They're from Brooklyn, New York. You'll find these guys a lot at like Total Wine, stuff like that.
That is not where I thought they would be from with a name like Hella.
no. I mean, if it was like I'm walking here bitters, it would have been a little more sense.
No, the problem is the San Franciscans already got them walking here bitters, and so
That's
yeah.
fair. Love you. The old LA greeting. But yeah, so the recipe is as follows, I guess. If you want to write it down and try it out at home, you don't have to infuse your Aperol. It works out better if you do. But otherwise, you can sub just a fresh, good 4-inch sprig of it. Toss it in the shaker when you're shaking it. Make sure you double strain it because you will end up with little pieces. Since this is infused, we won't have to worry about that so much.
All right.
And we are going to build it from spirit down, which is not normally the way I do things at the bar, but it makes it a little easier to follow. Big to small as well as few ingredients.
So why would you do it spirit down versus not?
So I'm doing it like this just for the sake of being able to follow. I'm pretty much going almost in the order that we pass the spirits around.
Okay.
Normally, when you're building a craft cocktail of any kind, you start with your smallest increments of ingredients and your least expensive.
Okay.
Just figure if I'm going, okay, here's 3 dashes bitters, here's half ounce of lemon juice, or I screw something up, I'm pitching juice.
Okay.
Versus like if I pour 2 ounces of spirit in there and then a 3/4 ounce of my liqueur and all this, and all of a sudden, I messed up. I just poured the whole cocktail.
Yeah.
I just ruined the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So I'm just doing it this way today. I'm trying to break myself into kind of pouring like that. I want it to be a little more frequently that I pour spirit last, if you will.
Yep.
I am guilty. I learned like this in dive bars. So for me, it's like I have a hard time breaking those habits.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No, ditching the juice sounds way better than ditching booze.
so tried to spill all over myself here because I'm sitting, and this is a weird way to do this sitting.
You can stand.
I'm
the mics move.
I'm going to. I'm totally going to stand. Yeah. This is weird. I'm like, I'm making cocktails seated. This is not fun. And I'm.
Well, okay. Yeah. You might be able to stand by Gordon. I don't.
I'm just gonna, you guys still got me good on audio?
Yep. Yep. You're
Perfect.
good.
So I got 2 ounces of the whiskey in there. Cork that back up. I'm gonna do 3/4 of an ounce of the rosemary infused Aperol. You can get jiggers that have 3/4 ounce increments, half ounce increments, whatever. Mine is a 1 and a 2, just because
It's the
the
best.
most common.
Yeah. If you're gonna have one, you should have that one.
3/4 ounce of the Tattersall Cherry, which is just heaven in a bottle.
Can I get you and John from that bar in Stillwater on at the same time?
Who's John?
The bartender.
Jake?
No.
Who's John?
The guy
oh,
that
the guy
put
from
up-
Feller.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. You'd probably have to talk to him.
No. I'll let you talk. I'm just gonna sit here and
No,
enjoy
but I mean,
the-
you'd have to ask him
actually
about it.
go- yeah.
Fucking dope.
No, he just wants you to answer for him right now.
and Ben, if you're still
Please
listening,
speak for all bartenders.
and Ben, you could still be participating.
Participating.
He hasn't even gotten into the cocktail yet, and he's talking like an ass.
If you were here in person, not
Good thing
texting me
podcasting
and
isn't
commenting
audio
on
or
Twitch.
anything. You don't have to enunciate.
Thank
or-
God.
And then the last ingredient, as far as your big volumes, is going to be a half ounce of lemon juice. I scaled that down from my initial recipe just because with the orange bitters, it was too much citrus overwhelming it. You weren't picking up any of the bitters depth. So I'm just showing this for that, and then I'm going to quad batch it so we can all have a full cocktail.
Perfect.
I go a little heavier on the bitters just with this because it's a smaller setup. If you're using any store-bought bitters or stuff like that versus like a dasher bottle that you find like on cocktail bars, the glass bottle is the nice metal top. Those are milled specifically. The little aperture on the top of these of every single one is going to be different. So for that, it's going to be, 3 dashes versus this one's 5, whatever it may be.
Okay.
But so that's the full measurements there, and then we're just gonna. Actually, I'm just gonna triple it. I think.
Now the whiskey's going into the cup. All right. Minimal spillage. Very impressive. Very impressive.
Not bad for no pour spouts.
And now the other thing is going in again.
The infused thingy.
Yeah, the one that makes me want steak.
Things going into other stuff in focus.
If there is some thyme in there, rosemary and thyme. That's the best steak combination. I tell you what, it's
Some
very good.
garlic and butter.
Yep, garlic, butter,
It's
little
like
salt and pepper.
Gordon Ramsay.
Well, you got to sous vide it too. Throw that in the sous vide for 135 for about an hour. Perfect medium rare. That's right. This is steak hour now.
No, sous videing a steak is a bit of a game changer in my opinion.
It is a game changer. You can't fuck it up, for one, and so like even your cousin Larry, who burns every goddamn steak and makes it taste like shoe leather, can make a steak in sous vide.
It's true.
And then all you have to do is give it a good crust after you're done, and it's amazing.
So the first time I heard or saw anything about sous vide, it was a guy out of West Coast. I don't know, Justin, if you follow him too, Lift Big, Eat Big Jim.
I know of.
Yeah, he has a online cookbook, and the first time I saw sous vide is when he did bear sirloin, I want to say.
Okay.
Sous vide and then finish on a grill just to sear the top of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this nonsense and how do I find it? Well, now.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and of course, my boss at work has a sous vide, the Humdinger machine. or whatever you wanna call it.
An immersion circulator.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, they're like, you can get them for like $80 now. Like,
Yeah.
They're super affordable.
And-
What do you need? Oh, just to get the water out?
Yeah. That didn't work at all.
It was so close. Seemed like such a good idea.
I thought it would work. That's all right. We're not gonna.
And then
for effort.
like chicken in the sous vide, like chicken breasts, they come out juicy every time. You can't dry them out, which is because there's nowhere else for the moisture to go, and so you can get them really well infused with the flavor all the way through,
Yeah.
and they're juicy.
So he just did pork belly. They are having a special over at Costco and did double-digit pounds.
Watch the camera in your head.
A little leak in this thing. Best part is my ears.
Fly, Dumbo, fly.
I'm glad you made the joke and not me.
There's a table between us. I'm hoping I'll slow him down. My manager did pork belly, and then he sous vide it for overnight. I want to say 12 hours. I could be wrong. But then finished it on the grill, charcoal grill.
Oh,
my
nice.
God.
Yeah, it's definitely a really interesting way to cook. Like a lot of people are now talking about the Instapot, but there's nothing that you can do that you like if you already have a pressure cooker, like the Instapot, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense to me. Because all it is a pressure cooker and a crock pot mixed together.
excited.
Like, I don't know.
It smells terrible. No one will like it. Just pass him over here.
Are we good to go?
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Fired up. So this one's a little less bright than they'd normally be. I think
Okay.
it's just trying to batch it and
Yep.
what have you.
Yeah.
I also think it's a difference in the bitters. The orange bitters from Hella is a little more,
A little more citrusy, a little more...
a little less bright, if you will.
Okay.
It's a little more subdued as far as the herb versus like having that heavy citrus, but it turned out pretty good otherwise.
I like it.
It is delicious. I would drink 7 of these.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. And then normally this would be served in a champagne coupe, and then just a little sprig of rosemary.
Oh, okay. Get that. All right. Did not have any
good.
champagne
There's
coupes.
a lot of different flavors going through that
Mhm.
after.
It really rolls through a different way. I went through so many different recipes trying to figure out what I wanted to submit because you figure you're competing against every bartender who has access to Woodford Reserve over 8 states. And it was like every time I try it, nope, doesn't stand out. Nope, this isn't good. I mean, I did everything from whiskey sours with egg white that had like honey simples in them, stuff like that. It was just like, nope, this is delicious,
But it's
but
too...
it's not going to stand out.
And it's beyond irritating because you would send me pictures and descriptions of all these different cocktails he's trying out. Of course, he has a day off while I'm at work going, stop, please.
I feel like
Or I'm going to be over in 5
that's
minutes.
just him getting back at you for never giving him any apple pie.
Touche.
It wasn't till now. Now I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be like, hey, Mike, I need you to let me know as soon as he's in training. I'm just going to load up his Facebook or whatever have you. But yeah, so that's it.
That is very good. I can
That is.
see why you won. Like that is
I'm one
phenomenal.
of 7 people.
Justin, can you show at least the people here the picture that you took? of the original cocktail?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I like your photos when you do cocktails and beers and such when you're out and about because they're not over filtered.
There's no filter.
Oh, okay.
Hashtag no filter.
Woke
No,
up like
it's
this.
I don't.
I don't know if he did any editing.
Well, I edit them like anything you see me post has been processed through at least Lightroom, depending on the photo, maybe a little Photoshop.
Do some
just
lens
for,
correction.
yeah, lens correction, a little color correction. Because I mean, bar lighting is much like in here. We have 5 different color lights in here right now.
Yeah.
But no, everything that I do is based on just usually me out and about drinking it, carrying a camera. Here, I'll pull up the actual version. Instagram's not going to do it.
Damn you,
I mean,
Instagram.
it'll do it, but there's no point because you're looking at that cropped photo.
Do, 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 do.
You're the host, man. Like if there's dead air, it's your fault.
I know.
Ooh,
What, we've never ever had dead air, and we certainly didn't have a frickin' cricket on here. What did you ever find that cricket?
Gordon,
by
you
the way?
can leave. Yeah, no, we murdered the cricket. There was a cricket hunt, and there was a cricket murder. Do you hear the cricket?
No, it's
Yes.
wonderful.
I do.
It's just I was finally
Then
going
you're
back
hearing
listening to
things.
old episodes, and that
brought my own.
It was,
episode
yeah,
with
it was like a
Theo
2-week period where every episode just had chirp chirp, chirp chirp, chirp chirp.
with the worst comedic cue ever.
Yeah. It couldn't get its own timing right.
That's beautiful, Justin.
Because we were
Thanks, man.
recording episode whatever with Theo from Minneapolis. Make.
That's 9 or 10, I think.
Yeah, 9. Yeah, 10. We'll say 10 for argument's sake. And I
Which
could
means
hear
it's probably 9.
It's episode 44. I could hear the stupid chirp sound. I'm kind of looking around at everybody else, like no one else is reacting. Am I losing my mind finally? What's going on here?
Yep. No. Well, yeah. That we had been recording for a while with it, and so I was just doing my best to ignore it. Like, if I
thought
don't
maybe
say
it's a
anything, it'll go
phone.
away. It'll go away. It'll go away. All right. Well, Gordon, we've been recording for an hour and 15 minutes. I don't know if you have a dismount.
I don't
Point
care.
that you wanna
He's
hit,
never
or-
had one.
No. Hey, this was
It's a
just,
hell of a drink, Justin.
It's
I mean,
very
thanks,
good.
man.
Holy shit.
I just keep. I don't have anything else to say. I'm just sipping on this while you guys chat away. I'm just happy.
It's goddamn good.
Yeah.
It's-
Oh yeah, I say the only thing left I have to say about it is the name.
Oh shit.
Oh,
It's got a name. It is called Hendrickson Road. It is named after the little dirt road that I grew up on in northern Wisconsin. Because there's 4 ways you name things when you're creating. You name it after some of its ingredients. You name it after something sentimental. Or, 3 ways. I shouldn't say 4 ways. Who doesn't love a 3-way? Or you name it after something completely out and just in
Brett
the middle.
Kavanaugh.
Yeah, that took a turn. I like beer. You don't care about PJ or Squee. He's lifting weights.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I.
No. Now I just want to do the entire Matt Damon bit. Look at my calendar. Donkey Dick Doug.
You see it in my calendar.
But yeah,
oh boy.
you name-
What was the third one?
so 1 is after its ingredients. 2 is after something like sentimental or close to you. 3 is something just out in the middle of nowhere. Like, think about most 2000 songs names. Like, it just doesn't have to make sense. And there was a 4th one. The 4th one is they call it the literary, which is where you name it after something that makes you sound way smarter than you are. I call this drink Apollo's Desecration. What? No.
That doesn't make any sense.
Covers 2 categories. But yeah, well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad to be able to make it for some people, and here's hoping I'm not outclassed heavily when I go to Kentucky, because I've noticed that when I'm in the room with cocktail people, it's always vests and ties and dress boots, and I'm very much Vans hats and flannel shirts.
Yeah, well,
Like,
just
I'm-
remember that you can probably outdrink all of them.
Yeah, they're gonna find out I'm from Wisconsin. Am I the only one? I hope so.
There's gonna be one other guy from the other side of the
Baraboo
state.
or some shit.
Yeah, how do you end up here?
Everyone else is gonna have the little taster, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh no, I'm from Wisconsin," and they put a full glass down there for you.
Here's the bottle.
My work function last week, 2 weeks ago, we had a big old hoo-ha meeting from 8 to noon.
Kind of love a hoo-ha meeting.
Oh, I do love the hoo-has.
Stereotypical corporate
Would you say it went smooth?
nonsensical bullshit. Went over, and then they had this big, oh, we're going to have social hour now, and it's at Punch Bowl Social or something over in Minneapolis area. There's probably 10 people at the bar, and they're kind of debating among themselves. Should we get a beer? Should we not? Mind you, it's 12:15. And I walk up, well, I'll get a tall of that. And immediately, it's like, oh, he's from Wisconsin. Yep.
Right, because you're gonna have a full glass.
Well, they didn't know what to do. It's like, it's
a bar.
I'm clocked out, so thanks.
Didn't you order a drink and go sit at a different booth?
No, it's free to be over on that side.
Oh, I was going to ask, what were the punch comments that we were supposed to hear? Or not punch. God, now I'm saying punch bowl. The Twitch comments that we were supposed to read. What was it?
Oh, all of this is by Duck Hill Workshop.
Weird.
Yeah.
The guy
Isn't
that,
he only like 6 blocks away or something?
Yeah.
Like,
he could just like stick his head out the door and yell. We probably figure it out.
Of course, I tell
surprised
him.
he didn't run over here and be like, "Hey, check your comments," and then run back home.
Yeah. He yells at me for being slow, and he goes, trying to participate. And I go, well, maybe if you were here right now, you'd be
There's a
participating.
couple open seats here, big fella.
Yeah. At some point in time, he goes, Gordon smells funny. I think that was right out the gate.
It's 9:20. I mean, he doesn't have to be back to the home for at least a couple more hours.
Yeah, his wife's pretty understanding, too. He certainly doesn't get paid to take clients to Twins games. He's still bitter about that one. And he wouldn't have cheese curds left. Gordon would have eaten them already. True. He takes a thing and puts it in the other thing. I think that's when we're talking about the ingredients.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, he's a big fan of putting things in other things.
not Adam Sandler. It was Alec Baldwin, followed by Damn It, and then Two Dimes Not to Rub Together. I'm assuming that's my discussing my rent.
I feel like I'm just like listening to somebody trying to write a book of proverbs over here. Like, oh, let's have some good play on words things. He's got 2 dimes, gonna rub them together.
Yeah, 2
Jesus
dimes rub
Christ,
together.
Shaw
You're gonna
says.
have a good.
He hasn't Ben hasn't updated his puns since like the 30s.
Well, there's a reason why he's called Grandpa.
There's more than one reason.
Now, say, back in my day when we had 2 dimes, we rubbed them together.
Good old Graybush.
All right, should we get the fuck out of here?
We should.
We've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, I got enough stuff here to make at least like 6 more rounds.
Oh.
of
Well,
cocktail.
in that case.
Well, in that case,
well,
we're still gonna turn off the mic.
No, it's another 30 minutes to beat the record.
We don't need to do that.
Thanks again, folks, for listening to episode whatever this is of Rules of the Arena podcast. You can find me at Facebook and Instagram at Built in the Arena. Check it out and make sure to go follow Justin Collins and Mike on their Instagrams as well, and as they're kind of through their adventures.
You want to say what their Instagrams are?
He doesn't know.
No, I don't.
Mine is just my name, Collins_Justin. Otherwise, Facebook is J.E. Collins Photography.
And mine is Michael __ Congdon on Instagram.
You can
Underscore Congdon on Instagram.
He lifts heavy things.
The bicep tear hurt more than we thought.
and make sure to go check out the other shows on Blind Ninja Studios. You can find them at blindninjastudios.com. Thanks again. Check you next time.